Hello, hello, hello. It's Anne Lewis, your independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based on the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland, Australia. I do card making and scrapbooking and do in-person classes as well as online classes. This is one of my, I have to think about this and say it very carefully, 5-minute craft quickie. It is going to go a little over 5 minutes though, but it's a quickie. So let's get going. What I've decided to do is show you how to do bulk card making, because we're coming up to that Christmas time and sometimes we run out of time, but we want lots of cards. Or other times, which is my case, is I'm looking for some thank you cards and lots of them. So I thought I'd show you how I do my bulk card making. So I'm going to be using the Thoughtful Journey Designer Series paper. So it's 6x6. It is gorgeous. All right, so really, really simple. But I'm keeping my cards super simple. So first thing I'm going to do is cut my standard card bases. Now I'm just using the Stampin' Up trimmer, but I'm going to turn it around the right way. That will make it a little easier. And I'm using some A4 paper. Now, because I've got really sharp blades, I've just replaced them in my trimmer. I'm going to be cutting 2 pieces of cardstock at the same time. So I'm cutting this down. I'm making sure they're nice and square to 5.5 inches. And then 5.5 inches, and obviously I'll repeat this because I want 12 cards. Now another option is I could have made these cards square if I wished, but I decided to keep it to a standard card size. My next 2, well, I've got 3 here. No, that's okay. So this is just our basic white cardstock, perfect to stamp on, blend on. It's kind of our multi-purpose adhesive, multi-purpose cardstock. And certainly I go through lots of white. Okay. And hopefully this will bring it up to 12. I'm hoping. I'll have to recount just in case. Now these pieces I always use for sentiments, for a whole lot of other things, so I'll put those aside so it won't be wasted. And hear those birds, they're giving merry hell to a scrub turkey. One. So I'm just going to score this. I do everything to all of them at one time. I am going to do, whilst I'm on a thank you card, you can make this design into Christmas cards, into anything. And in fact, it was one of my favourite Christmas cards last year. I'm just finding this a little easier to do this. Make sure you've got your cutting. Just got something popped up. You probably won't see me do all 12, but you'll get the idea of how I do this, and you'll certainly get the idea of how I do the cutout. So I'm scoring this at 4 1/8. Now, if you are from the States, you'd be doing this at 4 1/4, because your paper is a little wider than ours. That's the only measurement you would change up. Now I do have, I'm going to be doing mainly thank you cards, but I do have a special congratulations card that I want, and I want it to go in the post today. So I'm just changing up the sentiment, which will make it very simple. So there we go. Now I'm just going to put these over here. Then I'm going to cut out, well actually, first off, Now, this is designer series paper, so it's a little thinner or finer, whatever you like. Still good quality. But I'm going to cut these down to 3 inches. So I'm going to end up with each piece at 3 inches. Now, I have picked different designs. I should show you the designs. Doesn't matter because they're all going to be squares anyway. So I do want to make sure that these so 3 by 3. Now they're such pretty designs, these. That's why I picked this paper. I'm going to get it nice and square though, because they're not going to work really well if they're a little all over the place. Now, so I have 12 squares now. I'll put them over here as well. Then I'm grabbing some black. Now, I could have picked like a colour which I originally did Mossy Meadow, but I decided that it needed a little more. Now, I need this, and I can choose this whether I want a 1/4 inch border or an 1/8 of an inch border. I'm going with an 1/8 of an inch because it makes it a little more, I don't know, just finer. So again, I've got 2 pieces of cardstock. So I'm going 3 1/8. Hopefully my maths has worked out here. 3 1/8. Now I always turn this around because that's that really nice edge. 3 1/8. I've got a little bit left over. That'll be used by another card. And then 3 1/8 again out of each of these pieces. So obviously this is what's backing the designer series paper to give it a bit of a pop-up, a layer, just to make it look a little more sophisticated. I just want to make sure these are nice and square. Otherwise, I have to say, it does look a bit shoddy. But don't try this without sharp blades in, so new blades. Otherwise, it'll get a little furry trying to cut through all of this. Now, you could use any of your stamp sets. I've kept mine super simple. Haven't tried. Whoops. Nearly cut that wrong. Alright, so now I have 12 of these. Now it's just time to put this card together. So let's bring out, let's do these layers. I do have some stamping here because not all those, I just want to get these out of the way a little bit. 1. 2. I'm only going to put 4 together for you on the screen so you'll see the difference. So but just imagine I would then do all those others. So here's my 4. Throw that away. I'll put those together afterwards. And if I'm not sure I've done a good enough job, I'll then do that. Now, so these are my, I'm going to do that. Now, some of these are just fairly plain. So I've got a little hint for those. So that one's okay. Well, let's show you another plain one. This one is another plain one. So I'll show you what I will do with those. Now all the rest, most of the rest, you might have enough. That one I could easily have done. That one's busy, so I don't need to do anything more. That one could do with something. I'll swap that one out just so you get an idea of how I put these together. Now, so I've said I'm going to do a little bit of extra stamping on these just to make it pop a little bit. And if you watch me regularly, you'll know I love silhouette cards. So this is going to just have silhouette card. Now I'm using the Thoughtful Wishes from the annual catalogue from page 46, 47, which is the coordinating stamp set for this paper. So I'm just stamping it in Memento black. So it'll just make it a little more interesting. Now there was a few stamps I could use, but I picked this one because it had the most silhouette features on it. All right. There we go. So it just doesn't look as plain as it would have. So grab some glue. I always use multi-purpose glue, and I use it all the time anyway, but I particularly use it when I'm doing something quick where I may need to add, well, to move it, because you've always got a little bit of wiggle room if you use the Memento. I'll just put this down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. You can see how once I added that stamp, it made those plainer bits. These I don't need anything more on because I've got a fair bit on it. Oh, I could have used that side, but this one's got a pretty on both sides, so you get to pick which one you'd like on your cards. So many of our papers would work for this. Not all of them would you need to stamp. That wasn't exactly square. That's where this adhesive comes in handy. Now, I'm not going to pop it up because I want some of these to go overseas. And I've noticed that if I add dimensionals, I don't know whether it's US Post or Australia Post is sending them back. So there's how my card is going to look. So let's get it glued on. Doesn't that look stunning? And it's such a simple card where the paper, the designer series paper or the pattern paper, however you want to do it. Now, I always place this so there's the same border on 3 sides. And then it's placed like that. Now, there's also another reason why you may make a set of cards like this. Is you could pack them up, throw them in a card box or add a bit of cellophane around them, and got a little gift. So if you did the 12 cards, you'd have 3 little gifts. And they haven't taken you long, and aren't they pretty? So, as you see, it's not a big job, this. Right, and one more. So I would just go do the rest of these at the same time. But you don't really need to see me make the same thing multiple times. You've got the idea. Okay, so there's my 4. So basically, there's a gift pack. Now, I should have. I did this a little out of order. I did mean to stamp the back of these, but I'll be fine. So this says handmade for you. I'll just stamp that off a little bit. Now, I always add a sticker to these, so everybody knows that I've actually made them. So I'll put this on the left-hand side. Now, there's a whole lot of choices in this stamp set, which is called my small business. So it's got handmade for you. I think it's got made with love as well. Yeah, made with love as well. So don't want to get these dirty. Get rid of that lid. If you ever find that you get black ink when you're using Memento everywhere, it's probably coming off the lid. Took me ages to discover that. Okay, so here we go. I've done those 4. It's just simple stamping. Then I've got, rightio. So I've got one I want to send away that says congratulations. Now, this is a long stamp set called Sweetly Scripted. It's an online exclusive. And I really love the font on this. So when you're using such a plain card as this, you do want to have a nice font. Or, I mean, you can have it simple, but it needs to be one line and it needs to go across the page. I know. So let's go. And I get to choose where the middle of this is and how to put it on straight. So this is my only congratulations one. All the rest will be thank you. So how pretty is that? Anyway, so then I'm actually going to do I appreciate you on the others. Well, you can get to see how different stamps work actually. So this one's going to be I appreciate you. Always have a little bit of trouble seeing because of the cameras. There's another one. Then I'm going to do, the other one I've got here is a million thanks, I think it says. Let's turn it over. We'll stamp it. Now this will go from edge to edge because it's a long one. I get to pick where the middle is. There we go. But I actually like I appreciate you, so I'll go back to it. As I said, I haven't experimented with these stamps before I started this. So how gorgeous are they? They're so, so stunning. And even, you know, like I've used here, I've just used one sheet of the 48 sheets that are in the paper pack called Thoughtful Journey. Okay, so you'll see, obviously, I'll put those together once I'm off air. Now, these are available from my online store, which the link will be in the description. But how gorgeous are these and how simple were they? And I will have 12 zipped up in no time at all. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Know that these goodies are available from my online store. If you liked this video, and you can subscribe to either my Facebook page or my YouTube channel, wherever you're watching this from. Leave a comment because I love it when you leave comments, and it actually helps me because it means that either YouTube or Facebook share my video with more people, and that helps me. Now, there was one other thing. If I wanted to, I could also add some embellishments, some bling, to even lift this up a little bit more. But I think they still look gorgeous exactly as they are. So thanks, everybody. Leave a comment, and thank you very much for joining me this week for a 5-minute craft quickie. Bye for now. Have a great week crafting.